Hello. We understand that you will be leaving city employment. We have some important information about when your insurance benefits end and what options you may have for continuing some of them after you separate from employment. This video will walk you through completing your insurance exit paperwork. You should have a form that looks like this in front of you. Over the next few minutes, we'll walk you through what happens with your medical, dental, vision, and employee assistance program coverage, as well as your flexible spending accounts, your long-term disability benefits, any voluntary benefits you may have through Colonial, and your life insurance. Once we're done, we'll ask you to sign and date your completed form and return it to your department representative, who will forward it to us in the benefits office. So let's get started by looking at the personal information section at the top of your form. At the top of your form, we need you to complete the personal information, including your name, employee ID number, a phone number and email address where we can reach you if we have questions, and a mailing address where you will receive mail within the next few weeks. Please pause the video now and take a few minutes to fill in your information at the top of your form. Then resume the video once you're ready to continue. Your medical, dental, vision, and employee assistance program coverage will end on the last day of the month during which you separate from employment. COBRA is a federal law that gives you and your covered family members the right to continue coverage under these plans after your coverage ends. Here's how it works. Each plan is separate, so you can elect one or more plans without electing the others. For example, you could elect only medical or only dental or both of them and still decide not to elect vision. So you can elect whatever combination works for you. If you're covering family members, you can also elect coverage for one or more family members and not for others. This may be helpful because the cost of continuing the coverage can be expensive. While you were working, the city paid for some of your premiums, but that doesn't happen with COBRA. Plus, there's a 2% administration fee that's added on top of the total premium. We'll show you the cost in the next slide. You do have a little time to think about whether you want to elect the coverage. You'll have 60 days after the date your coverage ends to make your initial COBRA elections. Also, if you elect the coverage, it's important to know that it goes into effect the day after your employee coverage ended. So if you receive services before your coverage is put back into place, you can work with the insurance company to submit those claims so that they can be paid according to the plan's coverage provisions. You'll receive COBRA information and election paperwork in the mail in the next few weeks. Here's a look at the monthly COBRA rates. The cost is shown in the total amount column on the far right. It's important to note that COBRA allows you to continue existing plans. You're not able to switch to a new plan or add a plan at this time, but you will have the opportunity to do so during the annual open enrollment period if you're still enrolled at that time. Feel free to pause the video here if you need a little time to review these costs. If you have the medical plan with an HSA bank account, it's important for you to understand that that money is yours to keep. The bank account is yours. You'll probably get a new bank account number and you may receive a new debit card. This is because your account will no longer be associated with the city. It will become what's called a free agent account, and you'll be responsible for paying the banking fees that the city once paid while you were working here. If you have questions about your HSA account, call the number on the back of your HSA card for assistance. If you do not have medical, dental, or vision coverage with the city, and all you have is the Employee Assistance Program, and if you're not interested in continuing the Employee Assistance Program coverage through COBRA, we ask that you initial on this line so that we don't send you COBRA paperwork. Remember, this is only if you do not have medical, dental, or vision insurance with the city. If you have any of those coverages, we are bound by law to send you COBRA paperwork and you will receive it in the mail. However, if you only have the Employee Assistance Program and you're not interested in continuing that coverage, please initial so that we don't send you paperwork. Flexible spending accounts, also known as FSAs, allow you to set aside money on a pre-tax basis to cover certain medical costs and/or daycare costs for your tax dependents. This is different than the HSA that we just finished discussing. If you're enrolled in either of the city flexible spending accounts, your coverage ends on your last day of employment. In order for claims to be eligible for reimbursement, you must incur them by your last day of work. If you have not been participating in the FSAs, please initial the second line in the FSA section and circle NA, which stands for not applicable. Then skip ahead to the next slide. If you have been participating, however, please keep listening because we have important information for you. FSA participants must submit all claims to ASI Flex for reimbursement no later than 90 days after their last day of work, or by March 31st of any given year, whichever comes first. Federal law allows healthcare participants an opportunity to extend the dates for incurring and submitting claims. The laws don't extend this option to dependent care FSA participants, however. If you're in the healthcare FSA and you don't have enough claims to get back what you've contributed, you may elect to extend your healthcare FSA coverage through COBRA, just like you could extend your medical, dental, and vision coverage through COBRA. This would give you more time to incur eligible charges and submit claims for reimbursement. So if this is your situation, please initial the first line in the FSA section on your form, and we'll send you COBRA paperwork so you can decide if this is a good option for you. If you've already claimed all of the money you've contributed, please initial the second line. If you have questions, ASI Flex is happy to assist at the number listed on this slide. We'll now turn our attention to long-term disability coverage. Similar to flexible spending account coverage, your long-term disability coverage ends on your last day of employment. There are no options for continuing this coverage. However, if you're leaving due to a disability and you have been approved to receive disability payments under this benefit, your payments will continue in accordance with the plan provisions. If you're leaving due to a disability and you have not filed a claim yet, you still have a little time to do so. The claim process can take a while, so you'll want to get started right away. Contact the benefits office at the phone number listed on this slide, and we'll get you an application if you don't already have one. Similar to flexible spending accounts and long-term disability coverage, if you have voluntary benefits through Colonial, your coverage ends on your last day of employment. You may continue Colonial coverage by paying premiums directly to Colonial. Please call them at the number listed on this slide and they will be happy to assist you. The last type of insurance that we'll discuss today is life insurance. Before we begin, please pause the video and take a moment to complete the checkboxes in the life insurance section on your form, and then hit play to keep going. Your City of Tucson life insurance ends on the last day of the month during which you leave employment. You may be able to continue all or part of your city life insurance. To be considered, you must have been hired before January 1st, 2016 and be under the age of 70. If you don't meet these criteria, please initial the second line on your exit form. Once you've done so, you may advance to the next slide. If you do meet the criteria, however, please keep listening because we have important information to share with you. If you meet the criteria, you should have been given a notice of conversion and portability rights. This allows you to request quotes for continuing life insurance coverage. Please initial the first line on your form indicating that you've received it. If you're interested in receiving the quotes, you must return that notice to the Hartford no later than 31 days after the date you leave city employment. You may want to consider shopping around because continuing this type of coverage can be very expensive. Rates continue to increase every time you reach a birthday that ends in 0 or 5, like age 40, 45, 50, etc., and the policy ends altogether once you reach age 70. If you're leaving due to disability, you may be able to continue the coverage without paying anything at all. If this is your situation, contact the benefits office right away at the email address on this slide so we can get you an application. You only have a short while to apply for this type of coverage, so please don't delay. Full information is available in the life insurance booklet at tucsonaz.gov/insurance. We've come to the end of your insurance exit paperwork. Please sign and date the bottom of your form and turn it in to your HR team where you work. If you're watching this from home, please contact us via the information on this slide and we can provide you with guidance about how to get your paperwork to us. We appreciate your time. If you have any questions about your insurance, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. Thank you, and we wish you all the best going forward.